first. So I'm running a fireball Sorc. Go over to skill trees. So I have one point in a firebolt, into enhanced firebolt, and then into flickering firebolt. Come down to fireball itself. I got 5 hard points, 3 for my gloves. Once I get ancestral gloves, I should hopefully have another 2 more points in there, giving me a total of 10, hopefully. And then once I hit level 85, if I can find the Harley Quinn Crest Shaco, that's probably what's going to do, just for that 20% damage reduction, because I am running a hardcore character, plus the 4 to all skills. It's going to further increase my fireball, further increasing my survivability and damage. I don't have any resource cost reduction, which kind of blows with some of the rolls that I've gotten, but it is what it is. I got Enhanced Fireball, which on Tuesday, this is getting buffed. It's getting better. And I'm also running Destructive Fireball for the extra crit damage, which we'll go into why I'm using that. Then we come over to the defensive skills. I have 1 hard point, a Flame Shield, Enhanced Flame Shields, Shimmering Flame Shield. I got 3 points into the Lucky Hit Chance. When the patch comes Tuesday, I feel like the Lucky Hit Chance is going to be a little better. But this is also going to reset my cooldown on my defensive skills once every 10 seconds, which will help me out. Then I got Ice Armor, 1 point Ice Armor with Enhanced Armor. Now, this is where it got a little tricky. I kind of was playing with the build a little bit. I went with 5 hard points in Frost Nova so I can have it up a little faster. Enhanced Frost Nova and Mystical Frost Nova for vulnerability. So this is like my only downside to this build. This is the only source of vulnerable that I have. Then we come over to Conjuration. I have the 3 points for the increase in Lucky Hit Chance, 1 hard point to align the elements, 3 in a mana shield for the damage reduction, and then 3 in a protection for extra barrier for 3 seconds. That's extra survivability. We come down to Mastery skills. I got 3 into Inner Flames, 3 into Devouring Blaze, and 3 into Crippling Flames. That way I can have a 15% chance to immobilize them on a lucky hit chance, and this is again where the lucky hit chance goes. And since I'm usually always healthy, it's being doubled. Now, this is also Devouring Blaze, obviously more crit damage, 60 when they're 60%, or I shouldn't even say that. It normally isn't 60%, it's I think 30%, because I got nerfed, but I do have another 3 hard points for my amulet, and this is usually 9%, but I only got 1 from my ancestral staff, so I do need to get a better staff, which we'll go into that in a second. Here in Ultimate, I do have Inferno all the way up for the Pyromancy skills, cast no mana, so when I'm facing a boss, I can just spam fireballs at the boss. I got 3 again, I am hardcore, so I do have 3 in a Fury Surge to help regen my mana. I got 3 in a Soulfire for while I'm standing still. They cost less mana, which helps me out. And then I also have 3 in a Warmth. Now, the Warmth is awesome, especially during bosses, because it increases my healing, so it keeps me alive. Again, I'm a hardcore character. If I wasn't running hardcore, I would probably drop this and move it somewhere else. Probably would also drop Endless Pyre, but Endless Pyre is something I'm testing out. I'm probably going to be removing this too, and I might again, if this was a hardcore character, I would probably remove these 4 hard points, and I'd probably move them all the way up here and put them in the Ice Armor for more barrier, or I'd probably put them in like Flame Shield for longer duration and more burning damage. And then obviously I'm running Esu's Ferocity just for the extra crit damage and crit chance. I'm going to show you why in a second. We'll go to the Paragon board in a second. I want to come over to the skills. Give me 1 second. So you can see here, I am running the Staff of Endless Rage because of a 3rd cast of Fireball launches 2 additional projectiles. That is like massive damage. Usually anything that gets hit with all 3, mainly the boss, it explodes. I'm running Esu's Heirloom for the increased crit chance while movement speed, but these also give me a lot of movement speed, which is pretty nice. I'm running Disobedience on my pants. It should be my amulet, but we'll go over that in a second. With, again, the hardcore, I have all stats, damage reduction while injured, and damage reduction for close enemies. And then I have 2 damage reduction while control impaired in there. And I'm basically trying to stack as much health as possible. My gloves, I have attack speed, crit chance, intelligence, and fireball. And the imprint for the basic skills was just something to throw on because I didn't really have anything yet. And then I'm running a chest piece. Now this isn't sacred or ancestral yet, which kind of blows. But the damage reduction this is giving me, as you can see, 2.9 damage reduction. 12.4 damage reduction from distant enemies, 11% damage reduction from close enemies, and 4.9% flat damage, which is pretty nice. Again, some of the rolls are lower than I would want it. Typically, you want them higher, but it is what it is. And then I have the ice armor, makes me unstoppable, with 2 red gems in there to make, again, for more health. Then my helm, this is the best I've found so far for the helm, with cooldown reduction, barrier generation, and some health. And 893 health is awesome. Oh, I thought I upgraded that to 1,000. And then I have a barrier for that, which is pretty nice. Although the barrier did run, it did come from the basic one. Oh, and I'm actually running another topaz. I thought I had a ruby in this, but that's fine. Now for my amulet, I'm still looking for a better amulet, but this one is pretty decent. So I rolled 5.4% intelligence, which is pretty nice. It just gave me a flat increase in all damage. I rolled some cooldown reduction into it, and it did roll at 2 ranks of Devouring Blaze, so once I upgraded to level 5, it did give me 3 ranks, which is where a lot more damage is coming from. And then 5.2% damage reduction from enemies that are burning. Now, with this build, everything is burning. I gotta go over enchantments. The next ring I have, again, I need to get better rings, but this is what I've found so far. I have 418 maximum life, 3.9% crit chance, 16.1% damage to frozen enemies, and then life regen. Now, I wouldn't do a life regen. I'd probably want like either more damage reduction or resource or mana. On those, again, just to make sure you have more resources. And the next one I do have, then I have Airsu's Ferocity key passive. So while that's active, my attack speed is increased by 46%, so I can spam out those fireballs while the Inferno is going, which is pretty cool. Now the Prodigy's Ring, I did find one that rolled 20, which is ironic because I have a level 71 off season and I had a level 39 regular one. This was my first time actually, or second time that Prodigy's actually has rolled, and it rolled 20, which is pretty cool. Now this one's pretty cool because it gives me lucky hit chance, which is decent. It's got me damage to frozen enemies, which is where Frost Nova comes in. I got maximum life and damage to close enemies. I am pretty close. I am kind of... I shouldn't be as close as I am, but with the amount of close damage that I do have, I do get up in their face. So, to go over the abilities a little bit more with Fireball, or the idea of it. So I have Inferno. When Inferno, if I can... So Inferno, I use to group up the enemies and then spam fireballs because the enchantments that I have it where I have the Firebolt, which makes it where they do burning damage over 8 seconds, so that everything's burning, so I get the damage reduction and the increased damage. And then Fireball, when they die, which doesn't take much, everything in the room explodes, which is pretty decent. It's actually a lot of fun. It's so satisfying to watch. As far as my Paragon tree goes, I started off with just going up the normal route, going up the right side for the non-physical damage rather than the survivability of this one, because the all resistance is booty, unfortunately. I wish all resistance has actually worked, but season 2 that'll come. I worked my way up into getting into destruction for the extra critical strike damage. It increases all damage, but also overall critical strike damage. Now, this is level 12, I think, currently. And I plan on getting to 15. When it goes to 15, it should encompass this dexterity and this dexterity, which is why I have them. Which is going to give you even more critical hit strike damage, which overall does a lot more damage for the build. The first board that I did take was Searing Heat, and I did rotate the board so that get it as soon as possible, and then I worked my way up. I kind of came over here first to get the extra fire damage and damage over time for all of those, just because again I am burning a lot of enemies, and I want for the trash mobs, I want whenever I throw my flickering things, that they start burning. So as they start grouping and coming towards me, I throw out that one fireball with all the extra fire damage, and it explodes everything, which you're going to see in the gameplay. I'm going to show you in a second. Then I worked up to Searing Heat, more critical strike chance, can't beat that. And then we worked my way up all the way over to the Combustion Rune. I ended up taking up all of them for the extra fire damage and critical strike damage because you do want that. And then I worked my way up to the Paragon node. Now, I do have Unleash currently on this one. Unleash, I'm going to be moving to this board here, just because it has better runes there. But this is where I just have it for now, just for the extra. I wanted after spending 50 mana, you deal 6.7% increased damage and gain more mana regen, because this is a mana-intensive build, as most builds are. So this is, I'll be getting up soon, because the perks over here are going to be better. So over here you do have more, not dexterity, but you have damage reduction, which that buffs all the magic nodes. And then this one has burning damage to enemies. So that's where it's going to go once I do get up. Now I'm working my way over here to this one first. I'm going to get a Burning Instinct because, again, more burning damage, more critical strike damage. Currently with the intelligence that I have, it gives 160% bonus to that 40% critical strike damage, at least if I read that correctly. or it's just a flat 5% added on to the 40%. So burning damage will, as I stack more critical strike damage, the burning damage is going to basically burn everything alive. So this is probably like a burning build, working on the name. Once I get to here, I'm going to work my way all the way up here to go for the damage to elites, because that's massive damage there. I think I'm going to skip out on this one here for the 5% chance and this attack speed. But what I'm going to do from here, let's see, which one was this one? I do want to trail off on this one. Come up here, pick these up for the extra armor and then damage reduction from elites, because again, that's more survivability. I am running a hardcore character. You can change this if you want, but again, since I'm doing a hardcore, that's where I'm going to go, and I'm going to work my way up to this node and pick up probably most, if not all of these, for, again, more damage reduction and stuff, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is a dexterity one. No, this is an intelligence one. So the other glyph that I'm going to be going for after this is going to be, I think it was down here, not wording, not territorial, winter, which one was it? I think I'm going to go for Pyromaniac next, because that's every skill you cast every second you tend to incinerate. Increase your fire damage by 2% for 6 to a maximum of 10%. I think this is what I'm going to go for next. And I'm probably going to put... Actually, Pyromaniac might work better here. Because Paragon knows within range gain 50% bonus to their fire damage and damage reduction modifiers. I did it again. Which is going to be great here. Because it does give me a damage reduction. But it doesn't give me any fire damage. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, so yeah, no, that one's definitely going here. Pyromaniac's going here. So that's where it's going to go. Now, I'm probably going to scoop down here. Come over and attach another one, depending on how many Paragon points I have, and I'm probably going to be running Enchantment Master. So I would rotate the Enchantment Master this way. Actually, I just passed it. Yeah, I did it again. Probably put it here and work my way down to getting down to this one here for the enchantments. So I was 20% stronger. That means you do more burning damage with your Firebolt or Fireball. Whatever it hits, it's going to add burning damage, so I'm probably going to add that. And then probably skip past this one. Probably skip past that one. I don't think that there's really anything in here, but I'm probably going to reach up for this non-physical damage and bonus damage to elites. Probably grab all this, but that'll be a secondary one after we get most of this done, whatever, depending on how many points I have. That one doesn't matter. This one wouldn't be too bad if I were to come down here. Work my way over to this one for the extra non-physical damage. Again, that's just more flat raw damage, and then I can probably pick up this node. These are all damage resistance, so these are all basically pointless. Although it does give a lot of willpower. There's 2 willpowers there. So which one was that? So if I switch to glyphs, willpower was not Pyromaniac though. Might actually throw Reinforce on there. If I can make it that way, I might throw this one over there for the damage reduction. And then 25 bonus to all rare nodes, but that wasn't a rare node. We'll see what happens. I just gotta get closer to 100. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, I'm on tier 3 currently. Ooh, do I have Helltide? I do have a Helltide. Alright, let's switch over to tier 4. I was hoping to find somebody running World Tier 3 yesterday, but I didn't find anybody. Which kind of blows. I wish there was more people playing this on hardcore, I should say. I did find some barbarians, but we were running some. That was pretty cool. I kept everything kind of close. This guy's doing a hardcore character too. Did not know that. Alright. So...
Not while I'm in town.
Do I want to go for the Helltide? Kind of do, actually. How much time do I got left? 38 minutes. Yeah. I haven't done a World Tide yet on my on Torment. I unlocked it yesterday. I actually ran through it pretty easily. I mean, there was just the grouping is phenomenal. This build is a lot of fun. Oh, and some other changes that I was looking at. So if I can get a Raiment chest piece, there's a possibility I might run Raiment, taking the points out of Frost Nova, moving them over to Teleport because the Raiment stuns them whenever you teleport in. So I would look for a Raiment, or I'm looking for as a Raiment, and possibly going for the Oculus, so that I get those charges as a teleport for a circle, because it all, if I'm not mistaken, affects each other. So they all group together, fireball while they're stunned, probably throw on the one that where you do increased damage to enemies here while they're immobilized, stunned, or frozen, and just like rain fireballs on that. And then I can get I can get resource cost reduction on the offhand, which would be pretty neat, decent. So I can spam more fireballs. So that's another build that I'm actually looking at. And then with everything bouncing, because the buff is gonna, the buff on Tuesday is going to nerf the gloves of worship to where it doesn't take as much of a damage hit. It's gonna be fun because there'll be fireballs everywhere. So as far as where it's at now with this, the roll that I got, fortunately, is 63%. So it's not fun, at least currently. So basically, fireball, boom, and everything just keeps going up. Throw out the additional fireballs.
I need time.
Boom, everything's just dying. So I'm gonna find a Helltide commander. Now I am enjoying this more than my ice bullet and my whatchamacallit. This has been the build that I've been basically running since the beginning of this character, because I had the ice sword, not the ice sword, I'm sorry, the lightning sword, and I died at 39 during a Temple of Rot run. I got stunned while everything was on cooldown from the previous elite encounter, so that was on me. I fudged it. So that wasn't fun, but I wasn't upset. I was kind of like, all right, time to make another one. And I wanted to do the Fireball Sorc this season because of the buffs that were coming. And I wanted to do something different. They said Fireball isn't the best, and I wanted a challenge. And they also said the Sorc is the weakest. Again, I really wanted a challenge. Oh, I didn't even go with my whatchamacallit. So I'm running the Brutal Heart to gain the barrier generation and life regen. Again, more survivability. I am running a hardcore character, as I'm pretty sure I've said several times. And then the other one that I'm running is the Devious Heart for the resource drain is reduced, and then increases my regen. Again, I want as much regen as possible. I honestly really wish that the while enemies are burning, there's a 14% chance on a lucky hit to trigger a whatchamacallit, I want out of that. To increase my resource regeneration by a certain amount, or regen, whatchamacallit. I think it's like the elimination. I don't know what guys do over there. And I didn't throw on any pots.
I'm low on precious mana.
And then I don't need death ones.
I'm not ready.
That's what I'm looking for. Oh, I don't want that guy. Now this is a lot of fun when there's a lot of enemies.
I need time to
Everything starts blowing up.
out of mana once again.
Waller? Oh, bad. Alright, so the Wrathful one that I have is the one that it turns when you crit an enemy, it stops taking damage and it all stacks up for 3.5 seconds before exploding outwards. That is the one that I'm running. It slaps, I'm not gonna lie. It absolutely slaps. Let me queue up a shot real quick. So, oh, I can, wrong one, I went to the Paragon board. I should have planned this a little better. I just came back from the gym, so I'm slightly worn out. So the Wrathful Heart that I'm running is critical strikes and all subsequent damage within 3.5 seconds is absorbed by your target. Then the absorbed damage erupts onto surrounding enemies. So store damage is increased by a flat 20%. This is so much fun. I was running the world boss, and we were hitting for 792,000 damage on world tier 3, and most of us were around 150, like around level 50, which is pretty cool because not everyone was like OP. Let's see. So this is honestly, I think this is one of the most slept on builds in Diablo right now, because everyone's like focusing on like ice. Now the other Wrathful that I was trying to use, and I do have it in my stash, but I need to find a better ring because apparently I can't override it, which kind of blows. Is the which one is it? 3%. Wait, I need some death resists. Never know. Sweet. And then I want that precision one. Should be running armor actually, but yeah, I'm gonna run that armor. So survivability, and then which one did I just pick up? All right, well I guess that's what I'm doing. Let's see. The one that where you throw out multiple, because I want to see if it stacks with the amulet that I'm rocking, or the staff of the endless pyre, endless rage. Sorry. I don't know if they stack together, so we're gonna find out. The other goal that I'm gonna do, hopefully, is get a magical one. I might focus on chest or gloves to try to get an ancestral piece, but I think going for the one is a lot better. We got 32 minutes. I'm already at 50 minutes. I can hit it. I don't know if I finished the challenge for collecting 1,000 of these yet. Pretty sure I did. No, I'm gonna hit this one. The other thing, I've had some bad luck with fiend roses. I haven't been finding any fiend roses. The last one I ran for the whole hour and had yet to find any fiend roses. So that was kind of slightly depressing, honestly. I need some of those. If I run into a world type, I don't know what to worry about. One fireball or bolt sometimes. Oh, that was a 3-1. Boom.
I need time to
You see my health does drop a little bit. I really need the extra armor from the better chest piece because it's not sacred. There's a small possibility it will be the death. Time will tell.
I need time to prepare.
Well, I don't want to be there. Oh, wow, I talked about it and there's a fiend rose right there.
I'm out of mana. I need time to prepare. I need time to prepare that.
See, that was a live event we just did. All the amethysts. You can see the damage is pretty decent. It's not like it's bad damage.
I'm not ready yet.
Just burn that. Oh, we got a shrine up here? I think it'd be really fun just teleporting around with the Oculus. And I know it's random, and just casting fireballs. We gotta leave this time. These ones are so much fun. Everything just dies. Getting this in a nightmare dungeon is a lot of fun. Not that I can hit him. Ooh, I think there's a Hilltide Commander right here.
I need time to
And
I'm not ready yet. I'm low on precious mana.
that was fun.
I'm not ready yet.
And everything's good. I don't like these lightning pillars. Oh wait, I don't want this. Don't know if there's any leggings. I mean, temerities would be decent for the barrier, especially how much life I have. But no, I want to save those. I need the gloves of worship to roll better than what I had. I only have sacred ones. About 10 minutes in at 124.
I'm not ready yet.
Am I leaving the area? No. Perfect. I'm pretty sure the hell thing, or the gift of mysteries will be over here. Yeah, this is just so much fun. Just watching everything explode is what's the funnest part.
Yet.
Usually start every battle with like a frost armor.
I'm not
So
ready.
survivability barrier. The sources be weak. Frost over. That's also one of the reasons why I have Frost Nova, is I want it up as much as possible. I think the resources, not the resource gen, but like the cooldowns in general could be buffed a little bit. I know they nerfed it so you don't get as much now, but and there are situations that you run into, like everything's on cooldown, which I guess theoretically you shouldn't even be in that situation. And I've gotten mercs. It's like really red on the screen right now. Sweet.
I'm not ready.
Then you see how in their face I am. I shouldn't necessarily, again, I shouldn't be in this close in their face, but I'm stubborn. I like to face tank everything if I can. Which again, it's not really doing my best, but you see, they're level 78 if I'm not mistaken. I'm level 65 and I'm. Which again, there's not many elites right now, so these are just like trash mobs. So I get that, but I'll have a nightmare dungeon.
I need
afterwards. Then I'll probably post in the YouTube video. I'm not worried about you guys right now. Small crowd.
I need time to prepare.
21 already. 25 minutes. Let's take this one fireball. Oh my god, I had it, I was running a T, when I first got a T3, I was running a Hell Tide, and the circles where the meteors fell down didn't pop up at all. Oh, that scared the hell out of me. Yeah. Getting news.
I need time to prepare.
Yeah, someone said, I was reading the forums, and they said that the Hell Tide has been nerfed, and they spent a whole hour just trying to get 250, and it's like, I don't know if that's accurate, because
I need time to
an hour that I had played, I had more than enough. You guys are pushing hard. Go. Oh, I don't know, you guys were so cool. I look altar levels.
I need time to prepare that.
What chest is this? Chest piece I was over at? What is it? Event. Yeah, no, in Nightmare Dungeons though, some of the events are terrifying, to say the least. Because there's so many enemies that all the trash mobs are dying instantly from the fireball's explosion, and then the elites are just taking huge amounts of damage. But it is fun. Hopefully I can run into one while I'm streaming.
I need time to prepare that. I need time to prepare that.
Treasure goblin.
Once again.
Freaking cool. Alright, let's see how this turns out. good. Yep, that's pretty much how they all go. I mean, I just like deleted that hillside.
I need
Let's go.
time to prepare that.
Alright, this area. At 250 now. You're dying a lot in hell tides. I mean, I get that point. Then it's hard to get like an hour, and at that point you should lower the hell tide unit. Because again, you're losing all the cinders. You lose half the cinders you have whenever you're whenever you die in a hell tide. And if you're almost like right now, if I died, I'd be dropped down like 176.
I need time to prepare
Fireball.
that. I need time to prepare.
Yeah, when this buff comes out on Friday, it's gonna buff it to where instead of the distance or the range it is, increases the size of the fireball, so it's a flat increase. Insane. I don't like that. I don't like you ghosts. That's a lot of damage.
I'm not ready yet. I lack the needed mana.
Alright, so he smacked me so hard. Alright. Weaponry, protection. Hit the town real quick, let me figure out what this helltide is. Helltide chest. Oh, it's right there. Where am I at? Here. It is gonna be... Oh my god, I was right next to it. No way.